Ready to go?
All right, let's go.
Okay.
A lot of boaters have different opinions about diesel versus gas engines, and it's a bit of a hot debate. So we're sharing our experiences owning both a gas-powered boat and our current Sea Ray 410 Sundancer with diesels that we've had for the last 10 years. And our opinion on what we think is better for bigger boats.
All right, Captain, what's your preference, gas or diesel?
Well, this boat's diesel, so I wanted that on purpose. Our last boat had gas motors, and they were fine. It was, that was a 30-foot boat. It was pretty fast and it worked okay. But then, the ethanol started messing it up really bad. The carburetors got all gunked up like multiple times. I had them rebuilt. We had just foul gas in our tank. So, I decided our next boat's going to definitely be diesel for that reason. But, since we've had the diesel, I got to say that they've been really problem-free. The gas boat, I used to, replace the plugs and wires and have ignition, misses, and had to do tune-ups all the time. And when you try to start the boat in the spring, or pretty much all the time, it was like, trying to get it started.
Right.
Whereas this boat, even after sitting for 6 months, it's just boom, starts right up.
So from a maintenance standpoint, it's much less maintenance for us having diesel.
Yeah, I mean, it can be a little expensive. An oil change is like, 12 gallons of oil versus like 5 or 10 quarts.
Okay.
For 2 motors.
Right.
So it's a lot of oil. So I mean, it's like and big oil filter. So it's like probably going to cost me $500 to do this oil change in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess you could say that's expensive, but I mean, there's not a lot you have to do to these motors. You replace the fuel filters every once in a while, change the oil, and there's not a whole lot more that you have to really do to them.
Okay, so con would possibly be the cost of a diesel boat versus a gas boat.
Yeah, I guess the diesel costs more, but this boat you could get in gas or diesel.
Right.
But like from what I understand, like the cruising speed of the gas version is like less. Diesels have like a lot more like low end torque, meaning that it can twist harder, right? So you can put bigger propellers on, right? So and which you need on this boat to be able to steer,
right?
And get the boat moving. So I think diesel's a better choice for a big boat like this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and better performance.
And they last longer too, right? Like you can typically get a couple thousand, 3,000-4,000 hours even out of a diesel engine versus like 1,000 out of a gas motor, and they're pretty much shot, right?
Okay, so then we also have heard people complain about the smell of diesel engines. So they would never get diesel because of the smell.
Yeah, well, this boat has underwater exhaust,
right?
So you don't smell hardly in it at all.
Right.
There's little side ports for like sort of the overflow-ish. You hardly smell it at all. And how some diesel boats, they put a lot of black soot out?
Yeah.
That's from bad fuel filters, or the engines are in bad condition, right? There's something wrong with the injectors or something. But I mean, if your diesel engines are in good shape and the fuel filters are clean, we don't get hardly any soot. So that they don't really smell much at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like gas engine boats smell good either.
No, they smell
good.
What
do they smell great? No.
Yeah, I think people are more used to the gas smell.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, this boat doesn't smell it. But yeah, the Sea Ray has the underwater exhaust. Yeah, I mean, some boats have the big exhaust pipes above water, and I guess they do smell. I'll tell you what. There's a boat down the way with Detroit's. When that thing starts up, that thing stinks. But
we're not going to name names.
But these are Caterpillars.
Yeah.
And the guy next to us has Cummins. I don't really smell it.
Right. Okay. And then what about the cost of fuel?
It's kind of a wash. I mean, like sometimes diesel's less expensive.
It was this summer. Diesel was less expensive this summer than the gas.
Sometimes more, sometimes less. But I think you get a little bit better fuel economy out of diesel anyway. So I mean, it is what it is.
Right.
I mean, if you have a big boat, you're going to be putting a lot of fuel in it.
Yeah.
It's the way it is.
Okay. Anything else that we can think about of one versus the other? I mean, we clearly have a preference, but it'll be interesting to see in the comments if any other opinions arise about gas versus diesel.
It seems to be like a hot argument. You know?
It is.
But like, yeah, you know, but if I was buying a 40+ foot boat, I would not be buying a gas boat.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, it's not a good, I mean, diesel's just like, it's kind of bulletproof propulsion for your boat. Yeah, it would be expensive to replace, you know, a diesel engine, obviously.
But it would be expensive to replace a gas engine. It's
not
like,
not as much.
All right, but still, like,
be a lot
you're
less.
in that situation.
But I mean, you know, like I said, these run for thousands of hours. You're much less likely to have to replace them.
Right.
You know, if something does break on them, they generally fix them. You know, they're not ripping and replacing the block.
Right.
On a diesel engine nearly as frequently. You know, and we've had this boat for a dozen years, barely done, hardly any maintenance, that, you know, nothing needed to be taken care of. It's just been like, you know, fine. Yeah. So I got no complaints about diesel at all.
All right, well, let's see what complaints we see in the comments. And let's see if you complain next week when you're doing the oil change with the gallons and gallons of oil.
Heavy buckets.
All right. All right, so what's next, honey?
Where's my drink, honey?